And if Nora Maxwell with the Missouri Division of Energy through the Missouri Department of Natural Resources could come down. You know, as Heather mentioned, there's a lot of money that is coming to the state. And that means you got to have a point person, someone who's willing to take it in, manage it, create the programs to deliver it. And that falls on the shoulders of Nora and her partners at the Division of Energy. So Nora, thank you for the opportunity to present for us today, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you. Good morning. Again, I'm Nora Maxwell. I am the State Energy Office Program Manager in the Division of Energy at the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. It's been mentioned a lot this morning, but there's so much money that's out there right now. And we're just trying to take care of it and get it all out the door. And it's a lot of work to give away free money. I will mention kind of before I start here, they mentioned CPRG, and our AIR program did facilitate that. But there was actually a member of my team that was incredibly instrumental in that application as well. So we were really disappointed that we did not receive CPRG. We're currently spitballing ideas on how to take some of our projects that we were really excited about and get them funded. So obviously not to the extent that it would have been through CPRG, because that was a lot of money. But anyway, we were really disappointed about that as well. So this is just kind of an action update on what's going on in our office. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Division of Energy and what we do. And as you can see, we have a focus of affordable and reliable energy produced in Missouri. And we're looking at energy efficiency. And we also have a workforce development component that I find really exciting. I have my background is actually the Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development also for the state. So and then also alternative fuel sources. And we also have someone on my team that's working on that as well, the alternative fuel, the EVs. We're looking at all of that. We have the state energy program within the Division of Energy, but we also have the low-income weatherization assistance program that is in Division of Energy as well. So kind of just giving you a broad overview of what all of that means and what all of the funding is that's associated with both of those programs. The state energy program right now we're looking at the IRA, 2 programs, HER and HERE, and about $151 million total. The TREC program, the Training for Residential Energy Contractors, that's $2.8 million. It's also a new program. Grid Resilience Grant, about $21 million, also new. Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block, the EECBG, $2.4 million, also new. Energy Efficiency Revolving Loan Fund, about $9.6 million, that's also new. We also obviously have our energy loan program, and it's not technically new. It's not something that is federal funding available now. That was money from quite a few years ago that we took and put into an energy loan program. And so I'll talk a little bit about that, because I always have to do my plug for that program. And then weatherization, there's a different manager for that, and his name is Dan. It's an annually funded program that receives additional funding through bill and delivers direct efficiency, health, comfort, safety measures to income eligible households. So we're focusing on low income. And in fiscal year 2024, over $29 million was distributed through that program, making over 1,500 low-income Missouri homes safer and more energy efficient during that year. So I'll talk a little bit about IRA. This is the big one. This is the one that we get lots and lots of questions on. Why isn't Missouri getting this application out faster? What are you people doing? What's going on? I promise we are working on it. So the home efficiency rebates, $75.7 million to serve residential consumers. And it's rebates to reduce the cost of energy saving retrofits in these homes. And it's not exclusively income eligible, but households below 80% of the area median income will be awarded higher percentages. Here, the home electrification and appliance rebates, $75 million to low to moderate income residential consumers goes to them directly. Rebates to reduce the cost of the high efficiency electric appliance upgrades in the homes. And it also on this one, it's, you know, above that 150% area median income. Those are not eligible for this program. So kind of where we're at on this right now. Both of these applications are due by January the 31st. And we are on track to have our applications submitted by that deadline. We're very excited about getting these programs out to Missouri. We're working really hard to do so. It's a lot of juggling trying to get this done because we have to comply with, you know, all of the federal stuff, but we also have, as a state agency, we have rules that we have to follow as well, especially for procurement of contracting for this. So it takes a little bit longer for us to get this done, and we do also have a relatively small office. One thing that I want to mention that we did do earlier in the year, in April, we did hold 3 stakeholder meetings for these programs. One was in person during regular working hours at our office, and the other 2, one of them was on a weeknight, and one of them was on a Saturday afternoon. We were trying to, you know, pull people in that wouldn't have been able to participate in the weekday meeting. And we received a lot of feedback, a lot of comments from those that we're going to obviously try and implement what we can. But we're still interested in feedback. So you'll see on here, we have a public comment form on our website. There's a link there. It takes you directly to that. You can provide comment, you can provide feedback, ideas, thoughts, whatever you've got. We're interested in all of that. And, you know, just trying to get these things out the door for Missourians. And we're excited about it as well. And we understand the public's, they're excited. They want to get this going. So we're working as hard as we can to do that. The next program is the training for residential energy contractors, or TREC. It's formula funding. I will mention that there is a competitive TREC element that we're not applying for. We're trying to really concentrate on doing quality programs, and with a small office and a short amount of time, that means we're not applying for the competitive one, because we really want to make sure that these applications that we're putting forward are quality and that we're going to be able to serve Missouri as well as we can. So we're going to work with the MU Extension Office on this program. That is the plan. We have not heard anything back from DOE on this. We do have our application submitted. We're just waiting to hear back. And so you'll be able to see all of the information up here on what TREC is doing, but it's really going to provide Missouri with the ability to develop and implement a state workforce energy program that's going to prepare workers to deliver energy efficiency, electrification, and clean energy improvements, including but not limited to the IRA rebate programs. It's going to reduce the cost of training contractor employees by providing workforce development tools, including subsidizing training, testing, and certifications. It can provide professional growth by upskilling incumbent workers, and it can provide diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility by designing programs for delivery in underserved communities. We're anticipating to have this hopefully ready to go by January 2026, but it's really obviously dependent on when we hear back from DOE on the approval of our application. So moving along, the next one is the grid resilience formula funding. And This is another $21.8 million in federal grants. This is to improve the resilience of the electric grid against disruptive events. And examples of eligible products: utility pole management, power line relocation, reconductoring, microgrids. The period of performance for this one is in 2028. And also the eligibility for the entities and the projects, that's all statutorily defined. So we plan, once we get this launched, to offer awards on a competitive basis using 4 objectives: support for small to medium-sized communities, disadvantaged communities and critical infrastructure, resilience and reliability, energy efficiency, and employment and workforce development. And we're hoping to open our application period late 2024 or early 2025 to seek projects from the eligible entities for this program. Next is EECBG, the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program. I feel like when I start using all these, it's like alphabet soup with all of these acronyms for these grants. This is up to 2.36 million available to units of local government that couldn't get their own formula funds directly from DOE. So DOE did have money available that went directly to local governments. There were a lot of different cities that were on that list. We've kind of been tracking that in our office just to see who's been turning in applications. They extended that deadline, I believe, but this is a separate part. So not all municipalities were on that list of getting that money directly from DOE. So this is competitive grants for those other ones. And it's basically the goal of improving energy efficiency, energy conservation, and the emissions reductions. We did actually have an open period for that. It closed on August the 5th. And we are exploring the idea of opening it back up, hopefully. We did not get as many applications as we hoped to get. And there's also a component with this grant where we have to have a percentage of it out the door by a deadline. And with the applications that we got, it didn't get us to that point. So we're hoping to open this back up. We're waiting to hear back from DOE. And hoping for a longer period. I think part of the problem that we had was that the application period was not quite long enough for people to get their applications ready to go and get them submitted. So we're waiting to hear back from DOE on that one. The eligible activities are broad and inclusive, and they include, but are not limited to, things such as residential and commercial building audits, energy efficiency retrofit grants, building codes, inspection services, reduction, capture, and use of landfill gases, replacement of traffic signals and street lighting, et cetera. And so we're just kind of in a waiting pattern for this one, hoping to hear back. I know that DOE is anxious to get this money to the states and out onto the streets. So we're hopeful that we're going to be able to have an additional application period that we can announce shortly. The Energy Efficiency Revolving Loan Fund, $9.6 million for commercial and residential energy audits and retrofits. This one, we're evaluating possible uses of the funds. There's some basically guidelines that we have to follow, that we're trying to make this work within our state. And this is, a good pot of money and we want to get it out. But we've gone back and forth with several different ideas and trying to get this ready to go. We have basically until September the 30th to let DOE know if we're going to be applying, and then the application would be due on December the 31st. So we're working really hard on this one because this is money that we want to get out the door. But some of those guidelines with this one are making it kind of hard to find something that'll work in Missouri. And then, like I said before, I really want to do a plug for our loan program. I know it's not federal funding, but this loan program was set up very long time ago, the use of PVE money. And it's an incredibly important loan opportunity for entities in the state of Missouri to do energy efficiency upgrades to their buildings. Um, it's basically schools, hospitals, local governments. Um, we have a loan cycle each year, and that loan cycle varies in length. We have not announced the next loan cycle yet. Our previous one ended at the end of June. And so we are trying to get everything ready to go for this next loan cycle. And then we'll announce that through several different mechanisms, one of which is our website. And when I get to the end here, there will be contact information for our office and also a button that shows, sign up for updates. That's one way that you can get information about the energy loan program. And so the requirements for the eligible entities can change in each cycle. So it's really important to look out there when we announce the next cycle to see what entities are eligible for the program. And cycles, like I said, they're announced through news releases, email announcements, the DNR website. But when we announce the next one, we will include all of the details on who's eligible to apply, the total amount of funds that are available, and then how much the applicants can apply for, as well as the deadline for the applications. We do plan to have a shorter cycle this year than we did last year. It won't be a whole year cycle. And basically some examples of what can be done. We had a lot of high schools and school districts that apply for these, and they put new lighting in, which makes a huge difference in these classrooms. Then you have, you could do a high efficiency HVAC, high efficiency pumps, building shell improvements, insulation, things like that. One thing I always do like to mention too is even though we do have a cycle, emergency loans are available through this program and can be applied for year round, but the applications must be submitted within 2 months of the weather event or the catastrophic equipment failure that's occurred. So, we realize that things like that can happen and it may not fit into our cycle. And so these emergency loans are out there for things like that happen. One thing that I do want to talk about that is not on my slides, and it's been mentioned already today, is Solar for All. And I want to do a plug for that because the Environmental Improvement and Energy Resources Authority, EIERA, that's administratively attached to DNR. And they are responsible for delivering the Solar for All program in Missouri of $156 million. The award was announced in April, and EPA anticipates making those funds available no later than September the 30th. EIERA.mo.gov is their website. If anyone wants to write that down, there's information out there on their website on everything and everything Solar for All. This is going to provide subgrants, loans, other forms of financial assistance, as well as technical assistance to enable low income and disadvantaged communities to increase energy efficiency. And they're going to do a combination. The hope is to do a combination of the forgivable loans and low interest loans for residential rooftop projects, multifamily housing, residential serving community solar, and associated storage and building upgrades. And the thing about this program that I think is really cool is 100% of the funding has to benefit those low income and disadvantaged communities directly or indirectly. So like I said, for information on that, go out to EIERA's website. Hopefully there will be more coming soon as they're getting their funding, hopefully here within the next month or so. And that's a really great opportunity for Missourians. Here is our slide for all of the contact information. There's more information. These links will work when you get the PowerPoints sent to you. The green button up there is on our website. That's how you sign up for our email list. So anything exciting that's going on, application periods that are coming up for different grants and opportunities, you can get updates on those issues. The feedback form again for IRA. And then also our email address is up there if you have questions or want to contact our office about anything that's going on. And we'll respond back to those emails and questions as soon as possible. I think that is all